Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Demystifying Job Titles. Today, we have a very promising principal software engineer all the way from Pakistan. His name is Danial Iqbal. And with that, let's get right into it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Osama. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. And thank you for sparing some time to have this chat with us. I'm sure our audience would definitely benefit from us. And on top of that, I'm sure I'm going to benefit from this conversation a lot. So, with that, first of all, tell me a little bit about this journey for you, all the way from graduating from undergrad in Pakistan to becoming a principal software engineer. Because to me, at least, it's a big deal. So, how has this journey been for you so far?
Okay, so we graduated together. We graduated back in 2015 from Fast Lahore.
Hmm.
And then I started my first job in parkwheels.com. It was the biggest automobile platform in Pakistan.
Hmm.
There was one thing that was tie breaking that I always preferred product companies over the services one.
Hmm.
That I never wanted to go to services company because there you learn new technologies
Hmm.
like on every month, like on regular basis. But in product companies you master the end-to-end development cycle.
True.
Things are coming, requirements are coming from the research team. You are actually working with the UX team, design, you improve the experience, then you develop it, then you go to your user, then you get the feedback, and then you get the feature done.
Hmm.
There is a whole life cycle involved in a product company.
Right.
So I started gladly. I started Park Wheels. I was very happy about that decision. And I worked there for almost 3.5 years. And one thing happened during my tenure. There was a boom of progressive web apps, React. It was very new. Like we were actually the second React JS application in the whole Pakistan, Park Wheels.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we migrated that. That was a good journey. And I worked there for almost 3.5 years. Then I moved to I was a senior software engineer there. Then I moved to Orient. That was an IoT based company. We used to control devices with our phone.
Hmm.
So you're working with embedded system, you're working with mobile apps, web platforms for connectivity and everything. Then I moved to Car Switch. It's a Dubai based automobile platform
Hmm.
that was for sales. I was the lead mobile app developer there. And the company right now I'm working as a principal software engineer in is EMPG Labs. It's a big giant. It's a group of like 14 to 15 companies located in 17 countries.
Okay.
So
Nice.
OLX comes under this, Lamudi comes under this, Zameen.com, Dubizzle, Kaidi,
Right. Right.
like 8 OLX e-commerce platforms and stuff.
Hmm.
It's a big giant, and they have two tech labs to serve their products.
Hmm.
One is in Romania and one is in Pakistan. I work in the Pakistan ones, that is EMPG Labs,
Hmm.
and the one they have in Romania, it's Sector Labs.
Right.
So
Hmm.
when I got hired here,
Hmm.
so I was hired on a job. I was the first employee of the team. That's also a good story. Like I
Aha.
was the first employee in the team, and my task was not even to like do something, to develop something, some technical stuff, but the team itself. And it's
Mhm.
right now at 70 people for that
Wow.
particular
So
team.
it's more like you did experience that startup era in that company to that becoming a corporate actually. So I think that's a big learning experience for you right there.
Yeah, a company started within a company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true. So switching gears a little bit, I want you to discuss a little bit about the title itself. So as a principal software engineer, what do you do on daily basis? And I mean, in general, what does this title entail?
You are actually apart from development now, there are certain things that comes as a responsibility with this. For example, building your own team. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so trainings, there are trainings that you give to your freshies, your mid-level experience resources. And then there are product grooming meetings. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you are not a robot to just code whatever requirement is given to you. you know you sit in the product grooming meetings, you sit with the UX people. You have concerns over the design, you play your part in their research.
Mm-hmm.
you know You just don't accept whatever is coming from them. So you start to
Right.
question. Okay, let's say if you
Hmm.
want me to develop this thing, why? What's the benefit? Has the user demanded it? Will it benefit the business or not? Because these
Okay.
are the things that you need to filter out as an experienced resource. So
Right.
you give them the feedback, then you come to your team, then you play your part in estimating, then you allow your team, you make your team better in a way to do a better estimation of the task. So then you indulge in planning
Hmm.
with the development team.
Right.
You sit with them, because mostly there are freshies as well, who used to say like this. Okay, how much time will it take? Half hour?
Yeah.
15 minutes? There is no such thing as 15 minutes in a task.
Hmm.
There are certain processes, there is a protocol that you need to follow for even a task that is worth 1 minute.
True.
So they need to learn that, you need to train them. And after we deploy, there are analytics tools integrated. You need to like look at the reports and everything. Your job is not done when the, let's say, feature is developed or done. Your job is done when the user is using it successfully, easily, when he's getting what he came for on the consumer website.
Right.
So analytics is a big part. A/B testing is a big part. You don't just develop or deliver features like on the flow. So you go to the analytics part. You integrate multiple analytics tools to like track back how your things are performing, how your user, your the bounce rate and everything. Have you lost your users after the latest release or not? So there are some check and balances. Also the final thing, the tracking tools for servers and everything, downtime, making a high performance
Hmm.
applications, monitoring performances and everything.
Hmm.
So that's a whole journey.
Right.
So if you get user feedback, you go back to the UX or product team to say, what we have developed, there is something wrong. So
Hmm.
the cycle runs again.
Right, true. So, other than the core development work, would a principal software engineer be involved in maintaining the product itself? Like once it's deployed in the field, then if there are any issues, would the principal engineer as well be engaged in troubleshooting them, or would there be dedicated QA teams handling it and talking to or interfacing with the dev teams at that point?
Actually, as a lead, as a principal software engineer, things do come through you, but there are dedicated people for it as well.
Hmm.
Because let's say we have a quality assurance team that are added into the sales channel, for example,
Yeah.
the people where we can get feedback from.
Hmm.
Okay, so they come to us. First of all, they filter out the things that are actually being, that are doable just using the admin. No development work needed. They'll correlate with the product team and they'll do it if this makes sense.
Hmm.
Otherwise, after their filtration, they'll come with the issues to a planning meeting. Obviously I'll be in that as well.
Right.
So we will sit and we can actually have a look onto those issues. What value do they add? So
Hmm.
I'm involved in, principal software engineer is involved in that sort of a troubleshooting. But obviously you like don't have much time to always have a connection
Right.
with them.
Right.
So there are people that filter out the issues for you.
Well, other than interfacing with the technical team members, how much of your job role involves in talking or convincing the stakeholders or the key management people as well? So, can you share a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, that is a part. For example, it's again related to like tech, but like one major thing is presenting your people,
Yeah.
presenting your team. That is your JD as well.
Hmm.
Because let's say if someone is performing, I need to present it to my like managers, the stakeholders. So you are the image of your team.
Yeah.
So if something is going wrong, you need to cater that as well. If like someone is off track, you need to sit with him or her,
Hmm.
figure out what's wrong and how it can be corrected.
Hmm.
If someone is doing good, you should like give him appraisals and stuff.
Hmm.
You should actually promote him or her, things like that. But other than presenting your people, yes, agreeing them on certain like features, some requirements, negotiating,
Mhm.
with the higher authorities on the timelines. That's the thing that you need to do. For
Yeah.
example, your stakeholders want something over the night,
Mhm.
so that is not
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, true.
So you need to go into the conversations with them, like this is not practically possible.
Mhm.
But we'll still, we assure them, okay, we'll put some effort, we'll compensate the people with like holidays and stuff, with you know
Yeah,
stuff like
of
that.
course, of course.
So these are a lots of conversations that someone had to go,
Mhm. Right,
with the
right,
managers.
for sure. Okay, so gravitating just a little bit from that chain of thoughts, in university we did a lot of development work in C++ and Java, but now you're working with a lot of web-based technologies and a multitude of different frameworks. How did you ramp yourself up in these web technologies?
Okay, so reading the documentation, there is no another simple
Yeah.
answer to that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, like the technologies I worked in, React Native, React JS, Next.js,
Mhm.
Node.js, it's always been JavaScript.
Right.
Apart from the first 8 months or so. I
Mhm.
started as an Android developer,
Mhm.
and then actually after 8 months, I already told you there was a boom for React JS, making progressive web apps. So we started, we thought let's move our platform as well. There were
Right.
stories written by Flipkart and stuff from the other side of the world, from India, where people actually doubled their sessions
Mhm.
by moving to the progressive web apps.
Mhm.
The user base increased. So we thought, okay, there are some
Mhm.
successful case studies. Let's do it.
Right.
And on learning part, whenever somehow, whenever you want to learn something,
Mhm.
documentation is the core.
Okay.
you know if I don't know whether you believe me or not, I've read every single word written on
Mhm.
reactjs.org's documentation.
Wow.
Plain simple. So
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, yeah,
what university taught us,
yeah.
they taught us how to Google things.
Correct. Absolutely.
Simple as that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Agreed.
Like how to find things
Yeah,
that are valuable to you,
that's true.
and then it's on to you to like grab them, how with how intensity you actually focus on them,
Right. No, for
you
sure.
pay attention to the details.
So once you've started in this position, what myths do you think have been busted for you?
There is politics in software industry.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Because I can be wrong. That myth got busted.
right. Right.
Because maybe it was like in my favor that I joined companies, or it was my luck that the companies I joined, they were culturally very good.
Okay.
So I before going to the job, we used to think like, okay, it'll be a political scenario, people will be pulling legs
Mhm.
to go on top, professional environment, there will be no fun, you'll have to be a serious, you have to sit on your seat with a poker face.
Yeah.
So finding a company, when there are laughters on the floor.
Hmm.
So there were some concerns over there, over that thought. But yes, that one thing got busted, and yes, it was as funny as university.
Nice. That's very
We had
nice.
a good team, because I
Yeah.
was prepared to leave everything, every fun behind in the university. But luckily, I got it over
Yeah.
the job as well.
Okay, cool. So what kind of cool traditions do you have at work?
Yes, yes, yes. We have like sort of, we have a competition that goes over the year. Okay, there are clubs that we make, randomly, or somehow like based on their friendship.
Hmm.
These are two modes that we chose alternative.
Hmm.
Okay, so what happens is there is a club,
Hmm.
and we assign virtual money to the club leads. There are,
Okay.
let's say, four people, they are chosen as club leads, they
Hmm.
are being assigned a virtual money.
Hmm.
Now there are people that are specialized in certain sports, in
Hmm.
certain indoor outdoor sports, even poetry, even music, all the things are included in it. And this thing runs for the whole year.
Uh-huh.
And there are points, accumulated for that.
Mhm.
I was the captain of the team that won this year.
Wow, nice.
So, so,
Cool.
I won the poetry competition as well. But that's in Urdu. I cannot, do it like over here.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. We'll do another
So,
session for that.
yeah, sure,
Cool.
sure. So,
Mhm.
that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
There is a points table that everyone is looking at. People are actually, there is a very nice thing, a very happening thing.
Mhm.
Whenever a new joiner comes, the club lead tries to find what is his core ability,
Uh-huh.
and then
Yeah.
then then every lead is going over to him,
Mhm.
and asking him to join their club. If let's say what he is capable of is you are lacking, so you should have a team that can play cricket, like football, that can actually sing, do poetry. There is a cooking stuff as well in the office.
That is actually
So
pretty
so
cool.
a whole tournament
Yeah.
like is going for the whole year, and then you have a house trophy at the end of the year.
Right, right, right. Interesting.
That is the coolest tradition.
Yeah, cool. So, one last question in this installment of questions related to your job title. How is the work-life balance situation as a principal developer for you?
I wouldn't say it's a one that someone really wants. Like, because you asked about question about work life balance,
Hmm.
so you have to go another mile.
Hmm.
Being very honest, because things come with the responsibility,
Of course.
and if you are owner of the product, like I never travel anywhere without my MacBook.
Okay.
Like anywhere, even on mountains. Like, okay, if something goes wrong, I might find a place, and even on hiking trips, I might find a place, like where there is connectivity, and I might fix the problem. This
Nice.
comes with the title. This
Nice.
is very simple.
Okay.
Because let's say you are the product owner, and if something goes wrong, you are the one to blame. It's same like if something goes right, you are the one to praise. Simple.
Right. It's very interesting to look at it that way, that it's not just the luxury that comes with the title, there's also responsibility. And fair enough.
Yes,
So
yes,
moving
yes.
further, talking about your university experience. So how do you think academia can bridge the gap between what industry wants and what academia is providing based on your experience this far?
Actually, what the university is doing for the first 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
it is very okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because learning a new language takes maximum days, some days.
Mm-hmm.
But having a grip on the basics, that's a difficult task. That's a slow process.
Yeah.
So what university is doing for, like, making you understand of the basics, like data structures, programming, OOP, DB,
Mm-hmm.
very 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 thin things, operating systems. You, as a professional, mostly people don't give attention or give the rightful, necessary details, necessary input to these things, to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
They just focus on learning new languages. So I would say what university is doing for the initial part of our journey is very okay. Even they need to focus on the basics even more, go deep down.
Uh-huh.
Because once you have a clear picture, you should have a clear, let's say there is a code written,
Mm-hmm.
so you should have a visual, image of it,
Mm-hmm.
that what is happening over there. And
Right.
this only happens when you have a good basic, how it is being handled on the root level, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So what needs to be added in the university is like, adding new frameworks. Okay. And, like, for example, one, you need to give, uh, there is one thing that is seriously missing, that is system design.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening behind a computer, how to choose a server, what framework is the best. I would say just give him lots of thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
lots of new. There should be a course that would actually tell. what are the new things that are coming in the market, what are the available. He should be able to measure the differences between certain tools, because let's say he'll be put in a job. So if he doesn't know the difference between the tools, he cannot choose the right one for him or her.
That is very true. And even
So
building upon the same thought that I think it's a very common one. I shouldn't say that I found it. Like on GitHub, there is this system design primer, and if you open that, there are like tons and tons of information just on the same things that you were just discussing about the what computers to choose, why to choose them, why to choose product A over product B and stuff like that. And it just blows your mind that there is so much information on that you are at some point in your
yes,
life were totally oblivious to it.
yes. And
That
DevOps and everything, mostly things work. Okay, increase the RAM. The traffic will go up. Okay, increase the system. They have the money. That's
yeah,
that's not system design.
true.
You should be able to calculate the exact steps, like exact specs and everything based on like user volume.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
that is
queries per second and everything. There are equations that actually power our understanding. So
yeah,
there
yeah,
are things that needs attention. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Uh, and expanding or extending this thought a little forward, would you think a PhD is a good enough thing to complement in your personal development in your technical career?
I wouldn't agree. Like
Hmm.
I didn't do masters even.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I graduated. I went to the job,
Hmm.
and honestly speaking, maybe doing an MBA would help you if you are not a person that is very good in communication, that is very good in engaging people,
Hmm.
because that is one thing you need to have as a lead. Once, let's say you are a sole contributor, you work done, and you deliver.
Hmm.
When you have a team, when you have like people around you, there are responsibilities like retention,
Hmm.
communicating them that what they are doing is better for them. Even if you have a better opportunity for them, it is hard to like make them stay in the company.
Yeah,
That's a very big challenge. So I would say, I would wrap it up as a you should be a people person
correct.
as well. You should be a people person as well as a good engineer.
Makes sense.
That
Totally
would be
makes sense.
the two
Yeah,
main things.
right. Danial Iqbal, as a principal software engineer, what are the core values that he lives by?
Okay, done. One thing is main thing is ownership.
Hmm.
If I'm working on a product,
Hmm.
it is mine. Simple.
Got it. Got
Done.
it. Got it.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
And there are four pillars that actually got taught to us. So make an impact.
Hmm.
Our CEO did it. Make an impact, be eager to improve, be fast,
Gotcha.
and your motivation.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Perfect.
So
Hmm.
like things like that. So these are the core values that this is your product.
Hmm.
If something goes wrong, it's due to you.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Um, so what does success look like to you?
Success. Success looks like money. Simple.
Uh-huh. Cool. Cool. Interesting, of course. So other than that, how would you comment on mentorship? Did you have any mentors that helped you in your career, or were you a mentor to someone, or what's your take on it overall?
No, no, no. A good mentor is a necessary one for someone's development. I had two very good people
Hmm.
at the very start of my career.
Hmm.
I've learned a lot from them. One was my director Usman Ali, and one was my lead Rohel Kalyar.
Okay.
So these two people that actually I have achieved whatever I have achieved. There is most of them because
Hmm.
of because of these people.
Hmm.
So they one thing really taught me. The one taught me like technical stuff
Hmm.
mostly, and the one taught me, people dealing.
Right.
I would like to say one advice. He said, never react on the spot. Never.
Totally
Like
agree. Totally agree.
if you have gone a feedback, anything, any comment, whether it is good or bad,
Hmm.
never react on the spot. Go
Yeah.
back, think on the comment, and then respond.
Right. That is excellent. And it's not just true for your professional life, but it's rather true for the life in journal as well. That if you implement these things in your life as well, the results that you would typically get would be totally different. And it totally makes sense. Other than that, what
Yes.
things excite you in life in journal?
Other than my JD, like traveling, that's a boring answer, but
Yeah.
that's true for most of the people.
Oh no.
I know that's a recurring
Yeah.
one. So, mountains,
Yeah.
traveling,
Yeah.
hiking trips,
Aha.
these are the things. I'm a very social person. I like, I want my friends around me
Mm-hmm.
all the time. I'm a very,
Yeah.
very extrovert.
Aha.
Okay, so
Cool.
even Osama is my university fellow. He's like now living in Canada, but the rest of the friends we have over here in Pakistan, Osama, would you believe it? It's been 7 years,
Yeah.
and we meet daily.
Oh wow. That is actually pretty
Even
amazing.
daily.
Yeah.
Even some of them are still waiting,
Mhm.
and I would go and join them after this podcast. So we meet daily.
Nice.
That is an
Yeah.
achievement that
Well,
I
definitely
cannot
say hi
describe.
to them from my side. Cool.
I will,
So
sure.
other than that, knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently in your career?
What I could have done differently. Certainly would have made the products a lot better. What I mean.
That's a cliched answer. Totally.
You tried
Yeah.
your best. You tried,
Yeah.
to make them as best as per your
Yeah.
knowledge. So
Mhm.
let's say now the knowledge is better. I would
Yeah.
have made them a lot better. But they are good. They are good as well. Like at the moment right now. Other than
Cool.
that, that's
Yeah.
a tricky one. That's a tricky
Hmm.
one. There are
Yeah.
some advices that I wouldn't give myself on the technical basis,
Hmm.
because I was actually focused on that. I was actually, doing okay with my technical stuff, but there were some problems, like, maybe I was a maybe you can say a short tempered guy. That's why I got the advices like that. So, to
Hmm.
take things, you know in a calm way. Let's say you get a feedback,
Hmm.
so you realize that later. For example, someone says you are doing this in a wrong way,
Hmm.
or you are wrong. It's
Right.
a harsh statement, but you need to step back and think in what phrase of mind he said it. Maybe he
Yeah.
meant it for your betterment. Maybe he meant it for your as a feedback.
Yeah.
So let's say, it's never about even the technical stack. Maybe I was going to the office late,
Yeah.
and they have pointed it out.
Hmm.
So I reacted over that. I
Uh-huh.
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
This is a very simple thing,
But
but
the other thing is,
that adds to your personality. Yeah.
right, like we are all human beings and we all evolve. There are some bad things in us, and with the passage
Yes.
of time, we eradicate them. And I think that is just evolution in its essence.
Yes. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
other than
Exactly.
that, what are some of the cool features or products to date that you've worked on that you're really proud of?
First of all, number one, parkwheels.com.
Yeah.
It's a big product.
Yeah.
11 million sessions per month.
Oh wow.
People love
Daniel
it.
Bhai would be
The
very
coolest thing.
happy to hear that right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, the coolest thing is your friends use it, your family use it.
Yeah.
And it's not just the one product.
Hmm.
I worked on OLX, I worked on Zameen.com,
Uh-huh.
I worked on Lamudi, I worked on like Orient.
Hmm.
So, it's let's if you like sum up everything,
Hmm.
if you want to buy a car in
Yeah.
Pakistan,
Hmm.
you will be using a platform that I developed.
Nice.
So
Nice.
if you want to like buy real estate,
Hmm.
work, rent, and buy anything.
Hmm.
So You go to a platform
Mm.
that I have worked on.
Right.
So if you want to purchase mobiles, ACs,
Mhm.
furniture via OLX, anything,
Yeah.
I have share in that too. So
Yeah.
that's the coolest feeling,
Uh-huh.
that and one more thing, people know. We tell to we tell people like where you are working.
Mhm.
We say, let's say, difficult software companies name,
Mhm.
Confess, even systems.
Yeah,
So your family doesn't recognize where you work actually.
that's true. That's true.
Tech Hive, names like
Yeah,
that.
bro, tell me
So when
more.
you
I work in telecom.
so when you say, okay, Park Mills, when you say
Yeah.
Zameen, so they know where you actually work. So that's so you don't have to
Yeah.
explain further,
That's
things
that's
like
true.
that.
That's true.
So
Well,
one of the
yeah.
coolest thing
Yeah.
is like my people are using it. People around me are using it, and I'm getting like a constant feedback as well.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Daniel. I had so much fun talking to you, and honestly, it was really nice seeing you after such a long time. This podcast is definitely going to be hosted on all major platforms, and if you like it, please feel free to share it with your friends and family. And most importantly, let us know about your feedback in the comments. Until the next episode, take care.